Well, everybody, the car's still here, and I'm still alive. Moral of the story is I've been struggling with some wiring stuff, and I haven't really wanted to film it. Finish up some of the fabrication that's so-so, but we're to the point where I feel like I'm on the downhill slope. I'll kind of walk you through a couple of things that I ran into that I'm not very proud of. Probably something that I should have researched more, but show you guys where I'm at with the car, kind of walk you around some of those changes that we've made, and hopefully the goal is to get it fired up here within the next couple weeks. So for any of you guys that aren't new to the channel, you'll know that I switched from Holley Terminator to a FuelTech FT600, and that was just one of the things that I plan to do well before now, but you know, things just get out of hand. Had some health issues and stuff I've been dealing with in the background that I don't really care to bother you guys with, but finally getting to the point where I need to wire the FuelTech, and I'm just not used to FuelTech. So first off, if you've never messed with FuelTech, you go into the software and type in your platform and what all sensors you want, what you're doing with it, and it will generate this pinout for you. The problem is I didn't have the software downloaded, and I was like struggling to find FT600 LS wiring pinout. So I contacted FuelTech, and they sent me one, but they're like, you know, if you just use the software, it will generate one for you. And I felt kind of dumb, but that's not the only mistake I've made. As you can see here, FuelTech uses white wires for sensors, and I looked and looked and looked, and I struggled to find on here where the map sensor is. Well, on a FuelTech, they have a 7-bar built into the back of the ECU. You can see that little nub there. So it's actually, there's a built-in accelerometer, I think, the 7-bar map, and then you gotta buy the O2 reader. Just a learning curve. I keep telling myself that anyway. We got the car completely plumbed. They're just not in there right now because I'm wiring. I've got everything fabricated for the most part except for the trans tunnel. A couple other little things. I still need to put some travel limiters on. I put some on the other side, but I think I'm going to change them around. As you can tell, I still have most of the Holley harness in here, just shoved through the firewall, so I'll have to pull that out. What I've been working on lately, I'll show you. Excuse the mess in here too, guys. I've not been real good about cleaning up. So this is what I've been working on as of late. The blue and gray is your injector / coil harness. Then these two are your crank and cam sensors, which I still got to figure out some wiring on that, but these go through the firewall. I used an old Holley harness, Holley injector harness for this. I put my injectors in there, but I've got it coming through the firewall right here. I also do have this fuel line that comes through here, and I've got a bus bar. I don't know if you can see both of them there and there. There's not very much room. I'm gonna have to take this one here and move it over here. And as you can see, we're pretty tight clearance. I actually had to notch that cowl pinch weld there, so Yeah, hot side's done, cold side's been done for a while. I finally got my radiator hose upper fitting on. I was gonna use a cylinder head temp sensor where it's just bolts to the head to read. Everybody thought that was a bad idea, so I ended up just drilling and tapping for MPT right there. And then I did run into another snag on on my intake air temp sensor. I think you guys can see that right behind that fitting is the intake air temp sensor, and I can probably not fit my finger behind it. So normally you'd have a 2-pin plug in there. Well, the fix for that, I hope, I haven't tried it yet, is a direct wire sensor. This is another Rife sensor. So hopefully I can get this thing put in there and then put a plug on these two wires, and then, you know, make the bend out wherever I need to put the plug at. So we're on the downhill. Back to the map sensor on the FuelTech. So I have a 4-bar from the old setup, and I had a pigtail somewhere, and it's the goofy map sensor plug. I ordered a case of specialty pins for that to wire that in, and then realized I don't need it because I'm using the 7-bar in the ECU. So that's about how life goes for me. I over research or overthink things and try to get them here, and I don't know if anybody else has experienced it, but it seems like a month ago you could get parts in like 2 to 3 days, and now, like, if I order stuff on Sunday, it might show up here Friday, and if it's not here Friday, it might be here Saturday, and I've had them take over a week. Like order Sunday night, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then another Monday. Through a bunch of different places that normally are quick, so I don't know if it's just the shipper. I'm assuming it's just the shipper. I've probably got enough fittings and like plugins. I've got a bunch of these 10-row plugins. Like this one is for my power and ground harness that's actually inside the car. I think you guys have seen it hanging there, but these go to the powers and grounds, so that, like, the grounds will go back to the battery. I bought like 3 or 4 of each end just so I don't run out of pins. I did buy a kit from Monkey Fab for the most part. I've got a ton of wire from Monkey Fab and some fittings and stuff, but the dumb thing is I bought a 20-foot flying lead harness, so I've got like just astronomical amounts of wire left over. Like, this is the engine base side of the coil / injector harness, and it's literally got to go from here down to that plug right there. I'll have all this wiring left over, which this stuff's numbered, so I'm going to use it as much as possible for diagnostic stuff. But I've got like massive amounts of wiring just everywhere because I'm really bad about cleaning stuff up. Like the white lead and stuff for like the intake air temp and stuff is just thrown over there for right now because I still have to build the outgoing harness from that plug outward, which will actually go be part of that one, but I haven't pinned them yet. And about the only last thing that I haven't showed you guys is I have a lightweight battery now. which is kind of funny. You see this big block of lead here that's very hazardly strapped in. So shout out to Detroit Battery Company. If you guys need for any of your guys' battery needs, contact him, Chris at Detroit Battery Company. I was like one of the first guys to buy this battery. It's it's like 400 something bucks. And it weighs 9 pounds. It's way lighter than the one that came out, and it's double the power, so I can't complain. Trying to make the car light where I can. God knows it's heavy. I'm gonna try, especially next year. Like, I just want to get this car out and race it, but especially next year, I'm gonna really focus on getting some weight out of the car. So I think that'll really help. But like I said, fingers crossed. Have this thing started next week. 2 weeks at the latest. It just really depends on what parts that I forget until the last minute and how far out they are. Like I've been saying, the shipping of parts seems like it's slowing down, so I don't know what the deal is there. But thank you guys for watching the update, and I'll be really excited to see this thing run and hear it run. It's been a long 2 years of just working on the car, and I'm really tired of it. I say this every time. I continue to tear it down anyways, so it's my own fault, but here we are. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you on the next one.